Hey guys, so I wanted to apologize in advance. I'm not a huge Skyrim buff, so I enjoyed the game, I played it, I modded it a lot, but I just don't know the lore and I do not remember a lot of the stuff that happened in it. It's been years since I played it. So if I make mistakes when referencing it when I'm in the Greymoor review, I apologize. So that all being said, let's go ahead and get into the review.
Hey, you're finally awake. We just crossed the border. I've heard strange things have been happening since I was away. Even so, it's good to be back home. Back in Skyrim.
So I have to say I smiled a bit when I saw that intro for the Greymoor expansion. Like I said, I don't remember Skyrim a ton, but I believe everybody knows that introduction to the Skyrim game. Sitting in the cart there, the guard asking you, oh, you're awake now. So, like I said, that made me smile quite a bit. Unfortunately, that's where it kind of ended. There is so many things. I don't want to scare you off of the game, but there are a lot of problems. Let me go ahead and start out by showing you just a few of them. This ground texture issue is a recurring problem within this game. Many maps, I know Glenumbra, I believe it is, has this issue, and it has since the game launched, and they won't fix it. This you can see in 3 different spots. I could easily find issues with the ground textures just not showing up. This is absolutely ridiculous when you build a huge world that is just so beautiful to look at, and then the immersion is just broken by these horrible broken ground textures. And then speaking of immersion breaking problems, I noticed this a couple times where you would be talking to an NPC for a quest and there was just no voice acting. I don't know if it's bugged out or what happened, but there was just nothing there. Another major issue I encountered during this launch was just the general instability of the servers. The latency was through the roof, lag was horrible, at some points there were even queues. It was just absolutely insane. I've been playing this game on and off since it launched, and I have never encountered anything like this. So the last complaint I really have is the story. The main storyline is about 5-ish hours. At least it was for me. I'm kind of slow when it comes to these things, so most people I'm betting are getting it through it probably 4 to 5 hours. The story was also pretty predictable. You kind of saw what was coming. Also, you have this huge open world, and it really doesn't take advantage of it. Like, this map is far bigger than any DLC, any chapters we've ever had. But you don't experience much of it unless you really go through and do every side quest. And these side quests just aren't that good from what I've experienced so far. None of the characters you run into are anything special. It's just kind of boring, honestly. It kind of feels like how I felt the base game of Elder Scrolls Online was. A lot of content, but there's nothing really excited me that much. So those are kind of all my complaints about it. Let's get into the things that I really did like, though. So I've complained about a lot of things so far, but there is a lot of good things to take away from this. Like always, ZeniMax does a great job with the detail they do on their maps. Like this map is just absolutely gorgeous. You could spend tons of time just walking around and enjoying the beauty of the game. On top of that, you have, the things that you're familiar with from Skyrim, like walking into Solitude and turning to the right and you see the platform where the guy gets beheaded in Skyrim itself. Other areas, like the swamp area, I know it's not the same, but there's like a little hut there that looks like, almost like the area that you get abducted to for the Dark Brotherhood DLC from Skyrim. It was quite, amazing to see that, and I kind of smiled a little bit about it, even though I knew it wasn't the same little shack that you were at in the Skyrim game. On top of that, there's an area underneath the Skyrim map called Greymoor. It's a huge cavern system that it's just massive. I have not even begun to touch the surface of how big that area is yet, and I have a lot more hours, I think, going through in there and exploring everything. So overall, like I said, ZeniMax did an excellent job of just all the detail and all the little things they've done with this map. It'd be great if they can fix some of the texture issues, but overall, I really enjoyed it.
Just needs your help. Sea giants and vampires are everywhere.
Another thing that they've added that I've really enjoyed so far is the Harrowstorms. They're kind of like a mix of a dolmen and a dragon attack from elsewhere, kind of mixed into one. They take a fair bit amount of time and they are fairly challenging. I die quite often in these. I pretty much never die on the dolmens or the dragon attacks. So I did pretty much enjoy this, and it also ties in with the what's called the new system. I believe it's called Scrying. That's what it is, which I'll talk about in just a moment.
This reliquary is near
Scrying and Antiquities is something new this expansion. It allows you to uncover items, gear, things that can really help you out. There are mythic items, which are basically gear that gives you powerful set bonuses, but you can only have one piece equipped at a time. I'm still trying to figure it out. I would highly recommend looking at Alcast's video about it. He goes over how to do it and everything. I'll just give you or show you a brief view of how I'm doing it or how it's done. This is by no means a guide, but it should help you at least get started. The last thing I want to talk about is the performance of this expansion. I have to give ZeniMax credit. When they, last expansion I think it was, or right after it, somewhere around there, they were talking about how they redid the whole engine. They recently made us re-download everything. They claimed it was going to increase performance. I didn't see any at all. This expansion, it has performed great. Latency aside, like the actual frame rates, I'm at most times I'm sitting there 90 to 100 frames per second, and I'm running this thing 4K max settings, everything. It is run. I've never seen the game run this well, and I really hope maybe sometime in the future they'll possibly add ray tracing to this game. I know it's a long shot, but hey, it's worth hoping for. Other than that, those are kind of all my opinions on this expansion. It needs a lot of work. If you're on the fence about this, I'd say it is worth playing, but might be worth giving it some time until it really matures and they fix a lot of these bugs. Otherwise, thanks again, guys, for watching this review. I'll be heading out to the coast this week, so I might be posting some videos of that stuff if you guys are interested. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.